This is Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chapter 7, Antyakanda Part 2. This is the concluding pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates in this world 528 years ago. And we left off with Gadadhar, a luncheon engagement. Gadadhar Pandit had invited Nityananda to take Gopinath Prasadam, Tota Gopinath Prasadam, Jagannath Puri. And we heard how they were making so many wonderful vegetables. And he was making Tara Eka Vyanjana Karila Amla Nam Randana Karila Gadadhar Bhagyavan. That Bhagyavan Gadadhar, the most fortunate Gadadhar, prepared a sour vegetable with this imli leaves, Amla Nam. As he offered it, Gopinath Agre Nina Bogalagela Hena Kali Gora Chandra Asya Milila. By surprise, while Gadadhar was making this offering to Gopinath, and Gopinath personified came there. Gauranga Gopinath. Gauranga arrived there. What was Gauranga doing when he arrived at Tota Gopinath? Prasana Shri Mukhe Hare Krishna, Krishna Boli. Vijay Haila Gaurachandra Kuttu Hauli. Gaurachandra was joyfully chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra when he came. Shri Mukhe, his beautiful mouth, his prasana Shri Mukhe, prasana, let's say prashand, prashand, prashand.
Prasanna.
Happiness in Hindi means prashand. Prasanna, prasanna. This is prasana. He was very joyfully singing Vijay Haila Gaurachandra, that doesn't say. But when he came, very loudly he was singing this most victorious Vijay mantra. Gadadhar, 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 Dake! Gaurachandra, Sambrame Gadadhar, Vande Paradwandwa. Gaurachandra then called out, Gadadhar, Gadadhar! Gadadhar quickly came and offered his obeisances to the Lord. Vande Paradwandwa. Sambrame Gadadhar. Sambrame. Brahm. Sambrama. He was in great happiness to call out. Because Gadadhar, Gaurachandra is Gopinath. Sakshat Tota Gopinath. And he's calling out Gadadhar, Gadadhar. Hasya Balena Prabhu. Hena Gadadhar. Amikina Hoy. Nirmantrahan Nera Vitar. There's some Hasya Ras going on. Their primary ras, their mukhya ras, which in Gadadhar and Chaitanya is Madhura ras. This is Gauranga, is Krishna. Relishing Radharani's mood, and Gadadhar is that Radharani. So he says, oh, I was not invited. You invited Nityananda, but you did not invite me. Hasya Balena Prabhu. Hena. Kena Gadadhar. Nirmantram Vitar. I was not put inside Vitar. I was not on your invitation list. Amita Tamara tui haite binanai. Dadile Tamar. Balete Amilai. Gadadhar. Hey Gadai. I am not different from you, either of you. Even if you don't offer me anything, I will take it by force. Balete. Nityananda Dravya Gopinath Tera Prasad Tomara Randana Mor Itte Achi Bhag. Gauranga said, Gadadhar, I am certainly entitled to take a share of the items brought by Nityananda, cooked by you and relished by Gopinath. So it's Nityananda Dravya. The articles were brought by Nityananda, the rice from Bengal, that special rice, and Gopinath Prasad, Tomara Randan, relished by Gopinath and prepared by you. Ache Bhag. I'm entitled. This is of course all being spoken in jest and humor. Kripa Vakya Shuni Nityananda Gadadhar Magna Hai Lena Sukha Sagar Vitar. When Nityananda and Gadadhar heard this merciful statement of the Lord, Kripa Vakya, They merged in an ocean of happiness, Magna Sukha Sagar Vitar. So they went inside the ocean of happiness. Santoshe Prasadahani Deva Garadhar Tuilena Gora Chandra Prabhura Gochar. In great satisfaction, Sri Gadadhar then brought the prasad and placed it before Lord Gaurachandra. Sarvatokta Avyapileka Anera Soghande Bhakti Kari Prabhu Puna Puna Anavande. In a devotional mood, Lord Chaitanya repeatedly offered prayers to the rice. The fragrance of that rice permeated the entire garden. Sarva Tota Vyapileka Anera Sogande. Ana means kana, grains. Sogande is so fragrant that the whole Sarva Tota, the entire garden, the Gicha of Gopinath, was smelling that like that rice. Bhakti Kari Puna Puna Anavande. He was again and again offering devotional prayers and glorification of those grains. There's this song, it's a doorbell or something? There's this song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur where he's glorifying the prasad being presented to Lord Chaitanya and all his parishads in Shantipur. Ek din Shantipure, and he talks about that vogue that they offered to the devotees in Shantipur. One day in Shantipur, Lord Chaitanya and all his associates, and then he has another song, it's called Khichdi song, Khichdi Bhajan. And that's his song to glorify Jagannath's Khichdi. There's one song in glorification of the Khichdi Prasad of Jagannath, which is especially offered in January. In January, in the cold months of the year, in Vrindavan temples, in the 7 temples of the Goswamis, Radha Damodar, Radha Shamsundar, and Radha Gopinath and Damahan Govindaji, Gokulananda and Radha Vinod, they offer this Khichdi Bhog during Posha Mas. Now it's Mrigashirsha, and then next month will be Posh. The end of December through January, then comes this, that's what I guess is Magh was. So this is Khichdi time. And they put some raisins and some nuts in sometime, make it winterize it, Khichdi. So it's quite delectable and very nourishing. And they say it's very strength-giving. That's what the Goswamis told me when I lived at Radha Damodar. And in Poshamas, there's special puja to Lakshmi Devi in Bailvan. So that's coming up after this this worship of Katyayani, Mother Katyayani, Mother Durga, and this month, which will go on for another 12 days until Purnima. And then around the end of December will be the beginning, let's say, January, will be Poshamas. And every Thursday in Poshamas, in that January, all the different Goswamis, they'll take turns of offering big Khichdi Bhog and Papadam, or just Khichdi Bhog, to Goddess Lakshmi, Lakshmi Devi in Bailvan. It's quite a nice festival. And it's a yearly function, and it's a very special function, usually in the afternoons, like 3 o'clock until around sunset, or 2, or maybe all day. When we lived there in Sevakunj at Radha Damodar, we would go there, and everyone goes. There's a mass exodus of Brijvasis taking boats across the Yamuna and walking about 40 minutes through the fields to Bailvan, one forest called Bailvan and Lakshmivan. And then everyone offers this Khichdi Bhog to Lakshmi Devi. So here, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he's sitting down to take Bhoga, or let's say Gopinath's Prasad. He's sitting down with Nityananda and Gadadhar is serving the Khichdi Bhog. So first, all the Prasad of Gopinath, Tota Gopinath, was placed in front of Gaurachandra. And then Gaurachandra, he said, Prabhu Bale, Tina Bhaga Samana Karya, Bunjiva Prasada Ana Ekatra Vasya. He said, listen, Gadadhar, divide this rice into 3 portions, and we will sit together and eat. Although it's all Tota Gopinath's prasad, let's say, is bhog, cooked by Gadadhar, the bhat, rice, and imli, sabji, tamarind sabji, was placed in front of Gauranga. He wasn't invited, actually. Nityananda bought the rice, and he came there. Gadadhar cooked it up for the Gopinath. Then suddenly, by surprise, Lord Gauranga came to Tota Gopinath and said, Hare, Gadadhar, you didn't invite me? I wasn't put on your invitation list? And he was laughing and smiling at that time. It was a joke. And then Gadadhar, when he brought the rice from Gopinath, he said, okay, Gauranga, sit down, it's all for you. You eat all the rice. Since you weren't invited, since you're in a titi, and you sit down. But then he said, let's divide it. Nityananda Sarupera Tandulera Prite Vasilena Mahaprabhu Bhojana Karite. Attracted by the rice brought from Bengal by Nityananda Sarup, Mahaprabhu sat down to eat. Dui Prabhu Bhojana Karena Dui Pash Santosha Ishvarana Vyanjana Prashamshe. Gadadhar and Nityananda sat on either side of Gauranga, who glorified the rice and the vegetable preparations. With great, it says Santosh Ishvarana, with great satisfaction, he was glorifying the Anna and Vyanjan, the grains and the rice and the vegetables. And then how did he glorify? It says he glorified. Well, what did he say? Prabhu Bali, Eyanera Gunde O Sarvata, Krishna Bhakti Haya Ite Nahika Anyata. Gauranga declared the ganda, the fragrance of this rice will without a doubt give bhakti, Krishna bhakti, to Krishna. Nahika Anyata. Nothing else. It will not give anything else. Krishna bhakti, just the fragrance of the rice. That's an extraordinary power of Gopinath's Mahaprasad. Just smelling it. So that's quite an interesting way to honor prasadam. Just, that's nice. Okay, we'll take it now. Practically, that's a fact, because we hear about the power of Krishna in Brahma Samhita. Brahmaji, he glorifies the interchangeability and the unlimited nature of Krishna's transcendental form, his spiritual form, Satchidananda Vigraha. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti pashyanti panti kalayanti jaram jaganti ananda chinmaya sivajala vigrasya govindamani puja. He says that Krishna, he can smell with his eyes, he can taste with his ears, he can taste with his ears. This is a whole, there's 9 Navadwara. This body has Navadwara, 9 gates in the body. There's only one gate by which we can eat and taste. But Krishna can eat and taste with his eyes, eat and taste with his nose. So Krishna just smells the fragrance of the love-filled bhoga. Very nice. Because when we remove the bhog from Krishna, it's usually all there. It still appears to be there. But it's transformed, it's Krishnized, it's spiritualized with Krishna's Adara Amritam. Krishna just, you put the rice and dal, sabji, chapati in front of Krishna and sweet. He smells it, acha, santosh. He's satisfied, fully satisfied. This is happening here right in Gaur Leela. It happens every time we make an offering also. And the fragrance, because Krishna is smelling it, so now Krishna smelled, so that fragrance, that ganda was offered to Krishna's nose, now becomes Mahaganda. Usually we say Mahaprasad when we eat. There's also Mahaganda. We say Prasadi Vesh, the manjaris, and Krishna Leela Kinkaris, Palidasis, Radharani, they were Prasadi Vesh. We've heard the term Prasadi Mala. We think it's something we can touch, see, or feel, or eat. That's Prasad. There's Prasadi Vesh, which is Kapra, the Chadar, the chunery of Radharani, the veil, the lehengra, the dress, or the kancholi, the choli of Radharani, or her Prasadi Mala, the Prasad garland. There's also Prasad Ganda. Because Krishna is the enjoyer, Bhoktaram Yakatapasam. So he's enjoying the ganda, the fragrance, he's enjoying the sight. So if we offer with a pure mind and heart and pure senses and pure eyes, we offer this colorful bhoga on a tray, which is all different textures and all different colors and designed and arrayed in all different beautiful, attractive ways. We offer that to Krishna. The sight of that bhoga is very beautiful, very colorful, and different shapes and textures, and there's something flat, and there's something liquid, and there's something solid, and there's something brown and green, many different colors. Those are colors. Colors, design, form. These are pleasures and for the eye. So even that is offered for the pleasure of Krishna's eyes. When he sees it, oh, it looks so good. So now Krishna just looks at that bhoga. Now it becomes prasad dristi. It becomes prasad. So if you just take that, after Krishna looks at that and smells that bhoga, and of course he touches it and he eats it, and then you take it and you just look, oh, it looks so nice. Then you're getting the Krishna's prasadi glance. It's prasadi dristi, prasadi mala, prasadi food, isn't it? So sometimes people say, oh, I cooked this thing for your deities. Did you take? Yes, I took. But I didn't see you ate anything. No, I looked, I smelled. Because we only think taking or honoring or experiencing something is through the tongue, jiva. We know very well and very clearly in this world we experience also happiness or pleasure through all of our five senses. We also experience distress or tension or anxiety through all our five. Our hands can give us pleasure by touch. Our hands can also give us pain by touch. We touch a hot frying pan, we'll burn our hand and get pain. We touch something very soft and oh, this is nice. So our fragrance can give us pain. But it can give us pleasure. It's very sweet flowers. Look at some obnoxious poisonous gas, and we smell it, we can faint or whatever. Some poisonous smell and burning tire tubes and these type of things they have in the winter here. Burning tires and burning tire tubes. So just the sight of prasadam is a pleasure, is a satisfaction. But it's like Annamaya Kosh. The jiva is covered by different layers. Annamaya Kosh, and Pranamaya Kosh, and Manomaya Kosh, and Jnanamaya, Manomaya and Jnanamaya and Vijnanamaya. So that means the jiva's ability to perceive is restricted due to the coverings of his consciousness and the density of the thickness of the modes of nature. So he may have, so he's Annamaya Kosh, then everything's prasad. Only prasad is what I can jam down my throat and pass across my tongue. What about just, oh, it's a beautiful offering, I'm sure Krishna's pleased. But you didn't taste it, how do you know he's pleased? Oh, I smelled it. A good cook, if someone's a very good cook, they can just smell and they understand it's good. They can understand it. The blend of the spices and the articles being cooked and all together, this is good. It's a matter of sensitivity. Some people can perceive the pleasure in another person's heart just by closing their eyes. Yes, he's pleased. Some people have to say, are you happy? Please tell me, yes, I'm happy, I'm pleased. But it can be just a movement of the eyes or just the radiance of their face, and you know they're pleased. So perception is on many different levels, depending on the depth of the consciousness and the sensitivity of the individual. So imagine Bhagavan, that he's simply, like Gauranga, he's simply, what's he say? He says, you just smell this anaganda, Krishna Bhakti Hai. You just smell this prasada, what to speak of, just see prasadam, you'll get Krishna Bhakti. But we think, we have to taste it completely, every drop of it, 56 preparations, yeah, then I'll get Krishna Bhakti. Then he says, now just listen, he says, Gadadhar ki tumara manohara paka, amitai matta kabu nahi kai shak. Oh Gadadhar, what a wonderful cook you are. Gadadhar ki tumara. I have never tasted your manohara pak. Your pak, we said paka and apakwa. Apakwa means raw, uncooked, and paka means cook. Your cooked things have stolen my mind. Tomara manohara pak. What you have cooked is mind stealing. It's stolen my mind. So that translates, what a wonderful cook you are. What a wonderful, you're really a great cook. I mean, to say you're a wonderful cook or a great cook, and to say you're a manohara paka. Paka means rasoi mother. Cook. There's quite a vast difference. That your cooking is stolen my mind. It's captivated me. Manohara. Amita mata kabu nahi khai shak. Kabu, nahi kabu, never any other time before. Kai, kana kabu, kai shak. Have I eaten this type of spinach before? That's amazing. Why is that amazing? So he's just saying that to flatter Gadadhar. No, everything someone says has meaning based on relationship. So let's think about it. First of all, what is the relationship of Shak to Gauranga? Shak is to Gauranga what Makana mystery is to Krishna. Krishna, Gopal Lalaji, Nanda Dalal, he's very much fond of makan and mystery, butter and rock candy, sugar candy, butter and sugar. He likes too much. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu, from the time he was Nimai Pandit, very fond of shak, wild leafy vegetables, green vegetables, wild shak. Brahmi shak and this shak and that shak, so many types of shak. Methi shak and palak shak and batua shak and many shak. 22 different varieties of shak. 22 different types of shak Mother Shachi was cooking for him since he was a boy. He liked so much his sabji. Now he's 25 years old or 26 years old. He's been eating spinach for his whole life. Cooked by his mother's hand. Mother's cooking, home cooking, mother's cooking can't be beat. It's the best. Even wife can't match mother's cooking. She tries, but she fails. So, because mother's cooking for the baby in the womb. So how much mother's cooking is close to the baby. And the baby comes out of the womb and eats mother's cooking. So wife can never get so close as mother. And even the husband will say, oh, my mother, she makes it better than this. Than you. You should learn from my mother how to make this. So then the wife, she'll go to the mother, oh please, your husband, he likes some, you're cooking too much. Oh yeah, I'll show you. Now, that's on one side, there's mother competing with Gadadhar. But he says, Amita e mata kabu nahi kai shak. Kabu nahi kai shak. I never, in all those 27 years, I've never tasted shak like this before. That's stolen my mind. Because when Radharani cooks for Krishna, it's Manohara Bhog. When Radharani comes in Pratak Leela, 6 o'clock in the morning till 8:36, she comes to Nandagam, with her Sakhi Manjaris, and they cook and they cook and they cook. 100 stoves, 100 chulas, 100 chulas, all cooking at the same time for Radharani, for Krishna. Radharani supervising, Lita, you make this, and Yashoda supervising, Ravini, Radha. Manjari's cutting, helping, assisting, and Sakhi's cooking. Huge cooking. And Krishna's eating wonderful prasad from Radharani's hand. That is Manohara Bhog. Really steals Krishna's mind and he's glancing in the kitchen. So now Radharani comes in Gaur Leela and Krishna comes as Gauranga, and then the Gadadhar is cooking. That means Radharani. Gadadhar ki tomara vichitra randan tentula pratarakare matta vyanjan. Oh Gadadhar, your cooking is vichitra. What is this? So amazing and variegated. You have made such a nice vegetable preparation with tamarind leaves. Tentula pata. Kare mata vyanjan. Vyanjan means vegetable. Just with imli leaves, tamarind leaves, you just made such amazing, and that was growing in the garden, wild leaves of a tree. Like the Bengalis, you have a neem tree. Oh, what's that? It's a neem tree. When the Bengali comes to your house and sees a neem tree, oh, acha, neem tree. You ever make neem baigan? You don't really neem aloo. Immediately they see the neem tree and they start thinking of different subjects with the neem leaves. You say, subjects with neem leaves? Everybody says, how is it possible? No, it's very nice. Vaikunte randana kara tumi tabeyara panake lukao va kini. Gadadhar said, Gauranga said, Gadadhar, Gadai, I understand that you're cooking in Vaikunta. So why are you trying to hide yourself? Lukao, Lukao va kini. Luka Luki Kunda. Luka Luki is hide and seek. The purport. Vrishabhanu Nandini cooks for Krishna. Since Gadadhar Pandit Goswami displayed expertise in cooking offerings for Sri Gopinath, Sri Gaurasundar understood who he actually was, as I mentioned, Vrishabhanu Nandini, and identified him as a Vaikuntha cook. To be more specific, a Barsana cook. Barsani Wali Raji Shri Radha Barsani Wali Raji E Mata Santoshete Hasya Parihase Bojan Korena Tina Prabhu Prema Rase. Nitai, Gadai, and Gaur laughed and joked in this way. Parihase, Hasya Parihase. Parihase means every side was laughing, all directions were laughing. Nitai was here and Gadadhar. And this way, Bojan Karena Teen Prabhu, the Teen Prabhu, the Gaudiya Sampradaya, Teen Prabhu. Because they're Vishnu Tattva, Advaita, and Nitai, and Gauranga. That's the real Teen Prabhu. This is the three males right here, but one Shakti Tattva. So they're Bojan Karena Tina Prabhu Prema Rasa. They relished the mellows of ecstatic love, Prem Ras, as they ate in satisfaction. Hey Tina Janera, Priti Tina Se Jane, Gaurachandra Jhatana Kahina Karustane. The affection shared between Gadai, Nitai, and Gaur is known only to them. Gaurachandra would generally not discuss their affection with anyone. So we see in the Achar, transcendental behavior of Lord Gauranga and his devotees, because he's God and Nitai and Gadadhar are his expansions, but they're playing, or let's say their relationship is as servants, serving servants of God. His parts, his expansions, his parts and parcels, his servants. So we are also the parts and parcels of God. We are his expansions, although we're not Sarup Shakti or Tatastha Shakti. And he's glorifying, Gauranga is being served by his devotees, specifically they're cooking for him and arranging for his Bhoga, Nitai and Gadai, Nityananda and Gadadhar. And the first thing he does is he compliments the cook. First he compliments Nitai for bringing the Bhoga rice. Nityananda Swarup has brought such wonderful fragrant rice from Bengal. So you can see in the behavior of Gauranga that he's in a small circle right now, a small circle of association of sadhu-sang, of three, Teen Prabhu, Nitai, and Nityananda, Gadadhar, and Gauranga. And he's fully conscious of each one around him, and he's fully reciprocating in a very loving and appreciative and grateful way with those around him. He's not neglecting anyone or overlooking anyone. The principal player here in this Bhojan Leela was the cook and the eater. So the cook, of course, is Gadadhar, but there's Gopinath is involved, Tota Gopinath, and then Gauranga is involved, and Gadadhar is involved, and Nityananda is involved. Lord Chaitanya is expertly reciprocating with all of them and glorifying all of them. So this is the nice lesson we can learn here in Vaishnavachar, in our relationships with one another, that he says, what a wonderful cook you are. I've never tasted such shak before. So the principle or the practice of glorifying the devotee who cooks for the pleasure of the Lord and his devotees is being shown, that behavior is being displayed and exhibited by God himself, by Bhagavan Gauranga. God is grateful. God shows a G for God, G for gratitude. He shows his gratitude. He doesn't say, well, I'm God, naturally you should cook for me. I'm God, naturally you should please me. That's your duty. You're a cook, you made, very nice. Oh, Gadadhar. So this is the exchanges of love. And as a result, everyone became very happy. Everyone was santosh, completely satisfied, and they're laughing, and very sweet dealings and very wonderful example Lord Gauranga is establishing. And of course the whole thing is amazing on different levels, because Nityananda and Gadadhar are certainly thinking of themselves and acting as such, and their relationship is with that they are servants of Krishna and servants of Gauranga. So they offered all the rights to Gauranga. Please, Gauranga, Gopinath, Gauranga is one. Gopinath and Gauranga is one tattva. Krishna's to Bhagavan Gopinath, Krishna's to Bhagavan Gauranga. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahayanya. So they properly offered to him. And he said, no, you sit here, you share with me, like coward boys, or like equals. God is like that. You sit down. Once we were invited to someone's house, and they were initiated, and they wanted me to meet their mother, one Indian couple. And so we met their mother, and then they were offering me boga first. And I was sitting on the floor in their house. I prefer that, although they have all tables and everything. And then the mother was waiting. I said, no, you sit here, you eat also. Elderly lady. I said, you sit, you eat. And she came from England to visit her daughter. She was quite amazed. And, what is this, Swami? I said, you eat, you're the mother, why should you wait? No, you're Swami, you eat. No, you sit, you eat. So she sat there and eating. And now this lady is initiated. She had no idea how her life would turn to that direction. And she's read the entire Srimad Bhagavatam 3 times already. And spends her life in a holy dham. So this is the mercy of God and devotees, that they extend themselves. So even Lord Chaitanya, although he certainly can eat by himself, and would be no problem for him to be honored by Nityananda and Gadadhar. And sometimes he's even worshipped in different contexts. Sometimes Gauranga sits on the throne, the Singasana of Vishnu, and puts shalagrams on his lap. He collects all the shalagrams from the altar, puts them on his lap. He says, all right, worship me. For 21 hours, Shatapraharya Leela in Shiva Sangam, Shiva's Thakur's house, Chaitanya Bhagavat. For 21 hours, Shataprahar, 7 prahars, Gauranga Mahaprabhu sat on the Singasana of Lakshmi Narayan. And then he took all the shalagrams were there, as he was sitting there, and he picked them up, put them on his lap. And then he showed all his different forms. He showed Ram to Murari Gupta, and he showed different forms of God to different devotees, and called them forward, and told them about different pastimes in which he protected them in his various expansions, to let them know that he was all-pervading, omniscient, omnipotent and omniscient, and always there to protect them. But that same Lord is, in one pastime, is being worshipped like that, as Deva Deva Jagatpate, the God of all gods, Sarvavatari. Now he's saying, oh, sit down, eat with me, let's share together, laugh, enjoy. This is Gauranga. So you almost merge in the ocean of happiness. Let's see. Katakshane Prabhu Sava Karila Bojan Chalilena Patra Lutta Kaila Bhaktagan. After finishing their meal, Nitai, Gadai and Gaur got up and left. The devotees then snatched their remnants. So your warriors snatched. Katakshane Prabhu Sava Karila Bojan Chalilena Patra Lutta Kaila Bhaktagan. Interesting, there's a word in English called loot, L-O-O-T. Loot means to rob someone's house, or they looted the place. When you come in the house and steal, if you loot someone's place, you just turn all the drawers upside down and turn the bookcase upside down and throw everything on the floor, and you find every jewelry and every hidden kind of money and anything. It's called, the place was looted. So the patra, they looted, looted the patra. The Bhaktagan, all the devotees, they attacked the plates of remnants, the 3 plates left by the teen Prabhus. They looted them. Hey Ananda Bhojan, Jai Padava Shune, Krishna Bhakti Hai, Krishna Pai Se Jane. Whoever hears or reads about these blissful eating pastimes, Ananda Bhojan, achieves Krishna and Krishna Bhakti. Gadadhar Shubha Dristi Karena Jahare Se Janite Pare Nityananda Surupere. Whoever receives a merciful glance, the Shubha Drishti, the most auspicious glance of Gadadhar, can know Nityananda Surup. Nityananda Surupo Jahare Pritamane La Jayena Gadadhar Jane Se Jane. And whoever pleases Nityananda can know Gadadhar. Hinamate Nityananda Prabhu Nilachale Viharena Gaurachandra Sange Kutuhale. In this way Nityananda enjoyed pastimes with Gaurachandra in Nilachala. So that and I'd say Teen Jana Ekatra Takena Nirantara Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Gadadhar Jagannato Ekatra Tekena Tina Jane Anande Vivala Sabe Matra Sankirtane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Jana Vrindavana Dasa Tachu Parajugegan Nilachala, these 3 Jagannath Puri Dham, these 3, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Gadadhar, would always stay together. Together they would visit the temple of Lord Jagannath and become overwhelmed with ecstatic love while performing Sankirtan. Ananda Vival. They become bewildered, overwhelmed with bliss, and they perform Sankirtan, which is what it says. Anand. There's Anand Vival. Save Matra. Matra. At all times, Save Matra. At all times when they did Sankirtan in front of Jagannath, or Jendrananda and Shyamasundar, they would become Ananda. Anand. Accepting Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of the lotus feet. Thus ends the English translation of Antyakanda chapter 7, Pastimes in Sri Gadadhar's Garden, Tota Gopinath. Tota Gopinath ki jai. And we'll start tomorrow the Jal Keli Leela. Narendra Sarovar, Mahaprabhu's Narendra Sarovar Jal Keli Leela. This is during Chandan Yatra. Rath Yatra time, right before Rath Yatra in May, in June, for 21 days it's very hot. And Lord Jagannath and Subhadra and Baladev, they come to, and Utsavdini, Madan Mohan, they come to Narendra Sarovar and they cruise around and take a boat ride every afternoon. They cover with Chandan all day, so they keep them cool during the night. During the day they're covered with Chandan Yatra. Then that's removed in the evening time, and then they're taken out in palanquin, and they spend all evening from about 9 o'clock at night till 12 or 1. Almost the whole night they cruise around, and that's their boat festival, the lords, and then the devotees, they play water sports, sport around. It's not so much that Jagannath sporting, he's just riding in his boat. And they sing songs, on the banks they sing songs. I personally seen this festival in Puri a few summers, the Chandan Yatra festival, and the boating pastimes. The deities come out around sunset, which is around 7 p.m. or 8 like this. And they keep going around here and there, around Manjusrovar, till 1 o'clock. So they're nice and cool. Nice cool breeze coming off the water, and they're being fanned on the boat, and people on the banks singing, and lots of bhoga there, people selling food and stuff. It was a festival. And then the deities are taken home. Very beautiful way to spend hot days. Karo Chandan all day inside, at night go out for a nice boat ride under the moonshine, sing beautiful songs, love songs of Radha and Krishna's Noka Vihar and Van Vihar Leelas. Then come back to Jagannath Mandir, Shayan, sleeping time. And Jagannath, he's the enjoyer, a Mahapurush. Right, we're hearing so many wonderful glories about the Kinkaris of Radharani, the Pran Sakhis, Nitya Sakhis, often called Manjaris. And we've been just reading, basically hearing lots of verses where Prabhupada Saraswati, who is Tungavidya Sakhi and Krishna Lila, is instructing us to meditate on the forms of the Manjaris and describing their various attributes, physical, let's say transcendental forms and sevas and their moods of seva towards the Lord.